Everybody, my name is Jacob Rawson. I'll be going over the FLIR K series, specifically the K2 and then the K55. Our learning objectives is we're going to go over basic thermal imaging cameras, how they work, how they function, the limitations of them, and then also just for the two ticks that we use, the K2 and K55, we'll be going over these guys and how they work and function and the different modes that they have. For the basic infrareds, the wavelength of infrared is too long for our eyes to see. So that way we can't see flames, can't see hot spots, all that kind of stuff. The ticks take that information and put it to a picture that we're able to see, which is called heat, and it makes it red, different colors, uses a lot of grayscale for all that stuff. Basic thermal imaging cameras, it does the same thing I've already explained. It takes the infrared that we can't see and it turns it into heat, which we're able to see on the camera. The two ticks that we use, the K55, it has different pixel rates than the K2 just because it has a little bit bigger screen than the K2, so they're gonna have different pixels. K2 is super easy to do. It has one button only. Green to start up, you're gonna push and hold, and then it's gonna start up. This startup time takes anywhere from anything less than 30 seconds, and then it'll go into a sleep mode, which will be less than 10 seconds. It is a 3-inch screen. It does, I've already said, 160 to 120 pixels. The temperature ranges vary from 32 degrees Fahrenheit to 932 degrees Fahrenheit. It has data transfer, so you'll be able to use a USB mini, and it weighs 1.54 pounds. So it's pretty light, maneuverable, easy to carry around. K2 only has one mode. It is the standard NFPA mode. Yes?
I have a question in reference to the USB. So can you take photos on that one?
No, you cannot take photos on this one. Okay. It doesn't have a clicker. We'll be able to take photos on the K55, and I'll explain that later in the series.
Thank you.
The K2 is standard NFPA mode. This is going to be standard modes that everybody will be able to use throughout the different infrared cameras. It is auto range, and so if you look on the screen, it'll give you your auto range temperature. So when you see really hot flames, it'll be 1,000 degrees, and as you go through, it'll change it auto. Each camera will have a square in the very middle. That'll give you this reading. So you put it onto something hot, boom, that'll give you that temperature. You put it on somebody else, it'll give you a different temperature. And it has a battery in the very bottom, so you can see as you go through what battery you have left over. Then we're gonna move on to the K55. Same, green button, turn on. You're gonna push and hold. And then it's got two other buttons. The two other buttons is going to be your middle, is gonna be your mode change. And then the little hourglass is a zoom. So what you'll do is you'll just push and hold, and it all will do is just zoom in a little bit so you're able to get a better photo if you need that, and you search down a little bit farther path, you're able to go through that. The specifications are as follows. So it uses VOX micro bloom thermal imaging camera, just the camera that it uses to show the thermal imaging. It has a 4-inch screen. It does anywhere from a -4 to 180, and then plus 500 for 5 minutes. Both battery lives for both of the K series that we have here are 4 hours, and the startup time is a little bit faster than the K2 at 17 seconds, and sleep mode is almost instant at less than 4 seconds. Same micro USB, and then it weighs just under a pound or over a pound more than the K2 at 2.4 pounds. This is when we'll be able to do the data transfer of taking photos, videos, and all that stuff, and be able to transfer it to a computer for whatever you want to do for that.
Got it.
Now we're going to go into the different modes. You have your standard NFPA mode, which is up top. You have your black and white mode, which is the double triangles. You have your fire mode for high activity. You have your then search and rescue mode, and then also hotspot mode. And each one of those has the different icons, and we'll go through each mode. For the standard NFPA mode is a standard auto range, and so it'll go through your standard depth, same as the K2. When it starts up, it's going to be on that mode, and you're going to be set up for exactly how you're most likely going to want to use it. Great for initial attack and fire operations. Just the basic standard mode. Black and white mode is basically the same as the NFPA mode. It just doesn't have any color. Same auto range, same NFPA standards. It just doesn't have any color to it. Fire mode. This mode you'll want to do has also the same auto range of 0 to 1200 degrees Fahrenheit. It has color, and this is you want to do if a structure is fully involved, has a lot of flame, a lot of heat. You'll want to switch it to this mode so it'll be able to read more properly and you'll get better data from it. Search and rescue mode is here. This is what you're going to want to use. It is a very sensitive range of 200 to 300 degrees Fahrenheit. This is for if you're looking for bodies. You're in VEIS, doing all that kind of stuff. You're wanting to go through, look for bodies, all that stuff. No. Bodies, if there still is any flames or anything super hot, that is going to be in colored. Most of your bodies are going to be gray. Most likely not going to see them red or maybe white. They're going to be different shades of gray, so you want to look for a body outline that's mostly gray or white.
So you'll still see fire.
You'll still see fire, you'll still see color, all that stuff. It's just you're trying to focus that narrow pattern so you're able to detect a body better.
Got it.
And then heat detection. Heat detection is also the same sensitive. It is a 212, 302. It does the grayscale, but it only colorizes 20%. So if you're looking for wildland fires, hot spots, boom, you'll be able to scan a view, it'll pop up red. Same for if we're doing afterwards, we've gone through the fire structure, all that stuff, everything's burned, doing mop up, we're looking for hot spots, boom, you'll be able to find the 20% that's hot, and it gives you areas that are just more precise. And then for the trigger, like we said, it's in the very front, right here. You push it, takes a photo. You hold it, for as long as you hold it, it's gonna take a video. And so if you're going through, you're wanting to see something, hey, you don't know what it is, boom, take a photo. If you're wanting to go through and you're just trying to be like, hey, we mopped up everything, there's no hot spots, all that stuff, you can take a video of it. And then you're able to use a micro USB to then pull that data off for whatever reports you need to do or something along those lines. Limitations of the ticks. Limitations of the ticks is with these guys and also a lot of other thermal imaging cameras. We're going to go through this when we get hands-on. We're going to go through this and look at it, and you'll be able to see some of the limitations. It hates glass. It hates highly reflective surfaces. It can't pierce water. So if you're doing swift water rescue and all that stuff, the person has to be above the water. If they're below the water, you can't see them. Anything highly reflective, can't see. It does not like any of that stuff. For insulated tanks, all that kind of stuff, if it's double insulated or it has double walls, it can't see through it. You're going to have a harder time seeing the heat, where the levels are of like water or gas or whatever is going to be in there. It's going to be a hard time seeing all that stuff. Non-insulated stuff, you'll be able to see that a lot better. For smoke, you'll be able to see through smoke. The thicker the smoke gets, the harder it's going to see, and because it's going to be more heat, whatever, that wall is going to be closer to you. Can't penetrate as far, so lighter smoke is going to be better off for you to be able to go through it and see all that kind of stuff. Some of the ticks have a overlay camera. I believe this one has, some of them will have 2 cameras in the front. So what that does is it has your thermal imaging camera, but also has another camera, and it overlays the photo. So this will be able to, you can look through a window and be able to see through a window. You won't see thermal through the window, be able to see through the window, and it'll overlay both of the videos, which sometimes is kind of nice. Ticks, general uses of the ticks is you're going to want to be, hey, we're doing a scene size up, walking around, your captain's going to take it, look for hot spots. MVAs, looking for people. Initial fire attack, initial search and rescue, overhaul, all those kind of things are the very general stuff we're going to be trying to use it for. Other application is any of your hazardous materials, a lot of your liquid spills, liquid stuff sometimes hard to see with the naked eye. This will give a better inclination. Is something burning? Is something amiss? Can I see something? Swift water rescue, you'll be able to see people on the opposite shore, on a car, in the middle somewhere, somebody hanging onto a limb, you'll be able to detect heat a little bit better in the dark. Search and rescue for bodies. If somebody gets ejected from a vehicle, you'll be able to scan and go through. And then also hiker rescues depending on the distance. And then in conclusion is basically just going to go through and say, it's great for scene size up, initial attack, search and rescue. They have limitations. They do have limitations, but they're very specific limitations, and they're able to use in a lot of general aspects. And then for new firefighters and new people, it's like you're going to stick with the NFPA mode. Minute start up, it's going to be ready to go, and you'll be able to see through that stuff. And then with the K55, you'll be able to more technical as things progress. So, is there any questions?
I have a question. I don't know if it might be too crazy, but for having USB, like if we take a video, will it automatically delete it after a certain amount of time, or will it stay on there? Like if I shut it off and we come back and Cap needs to...
It'll stay on.
Okay.
So it'll stay on. It has a little hard drive. It'll stay on. You'll be able to pull it off and then get rid of it once necessary. You don't have to keep it on for the entire time.
So we don't have to worry about
no.
it go. Okay.
The data will stay on until you get rid of it.
Got it.
It obviously has a certain, I don't know the exact storage process
what
of
it can hold.
but it'll keep that storage, and then you'll be able to transfer it and then delete it from there.
Okay, cool.
So, yeah. Well, thank you guys.